All right. So the main purpose of this is to discuss um, the data roundtable for ANet that you have to complete. Make sure you're on mute. Let me see. Cheryl's not on mute. Let me go ahead and mute Cheryl. All right. Thank y'all. Okay. So one of the things you've got to complete is this pre-K gold data. Um, and I'm not sure which department is over this. It may be literacy, but um, you may want to, if you don't know how to collect that information here, I think it's the literacy department that's over this. I'm not sure. So you may need to contact that person. Then there's
It is, Michael. It's Division of Literacy, and each school has a pre-K coach assigned to them
okay. Thank
that
you.
can support them with that.
Okay, great. Thanks for that information. And then there's Dibble's information. So there's a lot of information you got to fill out for Dibbles. Um, so the letter names, phonemic awareness, letter sounds, decoding. So that's quite a bit of information that your principal is going to have to complete or ask you to complete. Well, it'll be not you as an ANet unless you're Dibbles. If you're a Dibbles coordinator, the Dibbles coordinator would have to do that. And they would get that data from Amplify. And each Dibbles coordinator has access to Amplify. So that's where they would have to get that information. All right. And then the other thing that you're going to have to complete is the English ANet data. And then um, that's interim one. And then your principal has to complete this the LA Gold Attainment. So there are a couple of slides that your principal has to complete um, for that data roundtable in November. And then um, there's a slide on what support do you need to achieve your goal. Then you do the same thing with math. Okay. And so today we're going to focus on the ANet part. Okay. So one of the things you have to complete is something that looks like this, and they gave you an example. So you have to put the grade level, and um, I believe you have to do a page for each grade level because they ask you for the um, the standards, and so the standards when you write it out is actually going to be a whole slide. So you have to copy and paste another slide. So you have to do this for each grade level. So they gave you an example. So third grade, the participation percentage, the overall performance, average percent correct, the two highest proficiency standards, and two lowest proficiency standards. Okay, so we're going to do an example. So let's see. Let's start with English. Is there a particular school that I can use that's on here? Anyone?
You can feel free to use flame.
Okay. All right. Okay. So first thing we're going to do for um, is the grade level, and I think your grades 3 through 5. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to put grade 3, and then they're going to ask for the percentage participation percentage. Now to get that, remember you're going to go to um, on the ANet page. You're going to go to your school, Banner's Flame. All right. And to get the percentage, you're going to go to performance.
And their thing
Make sure
is
y'all
you're not
mute yourself.
printing the
Linda,
materials or
Linda,
looking at
Lin, Lin.
materials or
Okay, I'll mute Linda.
looking at your
All right. All right. So then you're going to go to data export right here. And then when you click on that, it's going to bring up this part here. And y'all seen this before because we talked about this many times during office hours. And you're going to click, forget about all this information right here. Just click on this blue button right here. Now, when you click on that blue button, it's going to send it to you to your email. Okay, so when you get it, let me go ahead and pull it up. I think I already have one somewhere. Um, when you do get it, well, I thought I did. Okay, so let me go ahead and find out where I put it. Okay, this I don't need anymore. If you didn't sign in, please make sure you sign in. All right, so when you get it, it's going to look like this. All right, so it has your school's name, the subject, course, cycle, the number of students assessed, how many were enrolled, and then your percentage. This column H is what you're going to use. All right, so I'm going to go, I want to go to Baton Rouge Flames, so I'm going to go ahead and filter. All right, so when I filter Baton Rouge Flame, okay, that's this one here. All right, now notice when Baton Rouge Flame gets theirs, they're going to have all these cycles listed. Now, remember, for some of you, this is not going to occur for Baton Rouge Flame, but some of you with a middle school or high school that has Algebra 1 or a middle school that has 6th grade, remember in 6th grade you had to take A3 first, right? So you got to be careful. But Baton Rouge Flame doesn't have an issue figuring that out because it was all A1. So I'm going to go ahead and remove A5 and A3, and then ELA is going to be on the top. All right, so for grade 3, they're going to record 99, 100 for 4, and 100 for 5. All right, so before I go on, any questions at that point? Let me know.
Can I don't see in mine where I can filter that. Can you show me how to quick filter?
Sure. Let's see. Let me go back. Let me see if I can go back and. All right. So you ended up with only your school, right? Or did you all end up with all
Yes, sir.
schools? Just your school, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to filter the cycle. Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're going to go to data and then click on the word filter. When you click on the word filter, you get these drop downs right here on the headings. Did you get that?
Yes, sir. I'm good to go now.
Okay. All right. So let me go back and get your school. All right. I'm just going to remove A5 and A3. Now remember, for some of you, if you had 6th grade math, you had to do A3. So don't remove A3. Just keep A3. It's just that you're going to have A1s and A3s all over the place. You just got to be careful. Hopefully, I'm not sure. Okay. Hopefully, it won't be that confusing for you. You just got to be careful as you move along with A2 and interim 2 and interim 3, because you can have all these different assessments floating. All right, so
Mr. Doze, can I
yes,
interrupt you? Can you go back and start that process over again? I
okay,
missed something.
all right, all right. What part did you not get, Tonette?
So I'm on my ANet,
Okay,
and then from there I went
on
to
data export, and you can click on the blue
yeah.
button. It's going to send it to you in an email.
Okay.
Okay, all
Got
right. Now, what else did you not get? Let me know before I move on to something else.
Okay. My system is running a little slow, so it takes a
Okay,
while.
well, in the meantime, can you look at this one to kind of get an idea?
Yeah, I will.
Okay,
All
so
right.
we're
Thank
gonna
you.
you're gonna get only your school, just like Angela did. So when you get your school, you're gonna have all whatever school you're at. It's gonna be listed. All right, Angela wanted to filter to remove the A3s and A5s because she only had A1s. So I told her to do that. You're going to click, see how all this is highlighted? You're going to go to data, you're going to go to filter, and then you get these drop downs. All right, so I'm going to remove all the other schools, which you don't do because you're only going to see your school, and then I'm only left with Baton Rouge Flame, and that's what she would see. But she wants to remove all these cycles that are not needed. So you click on that drop down, remove A5, remove A3, and then all that's left is A1 in her case. If you're middle school, you're going to need both A1 and A3 because sixth grade math was A3 for almost all schools except Eva Lagarde and I think one of the charter schools. Um, so it's a little confusing for me because I have to keep track of all these different assessments that each school took because of there are three different curriculums being used in EBR for math. You have Eureka, and then in terms of Eureka, there's one grade level that's out of order, and then you have illustrative math, and then you have Springboard. So you have all these curriculums in math that's being used. So it gets a little bit confusing for executive directors to figure out what's going on and for district people that are looking at this. For you, it's not that bad because you just see one school, you just see yourself. Um, but it is, trust me, difficult. All right. Okay, so Angela's going to see the participation report for for her school. She needs column H. Now let me just remind you what I, J, and K is. So so Angela, you still on?
Yes, sir. I was going to ask you about that 26% where it says items scored. I hope that's not 26% have only scored and I still got 74% who have not,
You
or
that
64% who
that's
haven't.
exactly what that means.
Oh my God. So
Yeah.
how do I know which teachers haven't scored in third grade? Clearly that's a large
We
number.
we talked about that in the last office hours, how to get that
Okay.
information.
I'll go back and watch
Yeah.
that video.
Yeah, go back to that video in office hours. I don't want to pull that. I don't want to do that here because it's going to involve
No
all those
worries.
student names. And whenever I pull up student names, I've got to go in and blur, and it takes a lot. It takes a very long time to go through the video and blur all this information. But
I'll go
it
back and
is
watch.
it is in the last week's office hours. Okay. Now, if you still have questions, then just call me. Okay. All right. But that's what that means.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Thank you.
now we, as at the district level, we would like this to be completed, this column K, to be 100% by this Friday. Now, and the reason is it's not going to show up in any of the reports that your executive directors want, but it's needed at the school level because the teachers need to use this information to see what the student wrote down for those writing responses and use that information for instructional purposes. So the longer the teacher waits to score these, the it doesn't become very valuable the longer you wait. So, for example, if a teacher waits until February to score this information, then we only have 1 month left before testing begins. This should have been done a lot sooner. Okay, but that's what that means. So I is the number of another number of students, because remember the number of students 87, right? That's the number of students. But remember on those tests there could have been 3 writing responses per student. There could have been 4. So that's why you see those numbers here being much larger than the number of students that took the test. That's because each student had 3 or 4 teacher scored items. So the teacher has to go in and score all those items. But of those 172 items in grade 3 that the teacher had to score, this well, this grade level had to score, your grade 3 only scored 44 out of 172. So that's what that means. But for the data roundtable, you just need column H. So 99%, and you had one student missing. But remember, tomorrow's the last day, Angela. So if you can figure out who that student was and get them tested today or tomorrow, then by the time that you have to really present in November, this could be 100%. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. And we talked about multiple times in the office hours where to go to find this student. So you go to all classes and
Yes, sir.
you remember that?
I've got a list of that. Yes, sir. I've
Okay,
got
good.
that one.
All right, great. All right. So you still have tomorrow's the last day. It is not being extended beyond tomorrow. Tomorrow is a definite last day. And also remember, your principals are going to the LRCE either Wednesday or Thursday to discuss the ANet data for the fall fall assessment. So the more you test today, chances are it will sync overnight, and those students will be available for them to look at. All right, but column H is what you're going to need. So for Angela, when you fill out the table, you're going to say for grade 3, my participation was 99%, grade 4 ELA 100%, grade 5 100%. For math, it was 100, 100, and then you had one student missing for math. Is probably, no, it's this different grade levels. Um, and so if you can get that one student, then this 98 could become 100. All right. Okay, so now you're going to go back to let me pull this over. So then you're going to go back to the data roundtable, and you're going to put for grade 3, you're going to put 99%. And then for grade 4, you're going to put 100%. And then for grade 5, you're going to put 100%. All right, so that's ELA. Now let's go ahead and quickly do math because you already have that information. So then for math, you're going to go for grade 3, it was 100%. For grade 4, 100%. And then for grade 5, it was 98%. Okay? All right, so that's how you complete that part. All right, now before we go on, that's the end of this column. Any questions by anyone on here? All right, so Tanette, hopefully you were able to get that email where that information you need is listed. Anyone else? Okay, all right. Now, so the next column you see, I'm going to go back to ELA. The next column you see is this overall performance. Okay, now I sent an email to certain people. Remember, I am just an instructional support. I am not an administrator. But I did send an email to certain administrators asking them what this column meant. I did not receive an email explaining that. I think what this overall performance is when you do interim 2. Remember, those of you who did this last year, if you do interim 2, it provides you an average of the 2 interims. I think that's what that is. So for right now, we're going to put NA, not applicable, because there's only one interim, right, so far? We haven't done interim 2. We haven't done interim 3. I think that's what that means. So we're going to put NA. I have not received information from anyone explaining what that column is. So then we're going to go to math. I'm going to do the same thing. NA for not applicable. NA. NA. All right. Any question what I just said? When we get to interim 2, which is what I think, when we get to interim 2, then you'll be able to do this overall performance because you're going to have ANet will take the average of the 2 interims, and then you'll do that, and we get to interim 3, you'll do the same thing, overall performance. Angela, you had a question?
Well, I worked on this yesterday because I was asked to by administration, and I pulled up an average of all of our third grade teachers, and in ANet it gives you an overall performance, like our school as compared to the network, and that's what I used.
Then what'd you use for the average percent?
Well, it says our overall performance for ELA in grade 3 was 45% as compared to the network at 36%.
No, I don't, but nowhere in here is it asking you about network. So what?
No, it just said overall performance, and that's what this is listed as, is overall performance for the school for grade 3. So I guess I just assumed that's what that was.
Okay, so then what did you put for average percent for grade 3?
So the average percent, I went to the data report and I used the median score for the test from my PDMR.
Your what?
The PDMR that they send you when you print out a report for data meeting gave me a mean and a median score for the students in all of grade 3 for all of my teachers averaged.
Okay. I'm a little confused. Um, so I'm confused. Um, the average percent correct. Let me show. Let's go to the average percent correct. So here's where you're going to go to complete the average percent correct. All right. So I'm going to go to ANet. All right. So I'm going to go to performance. All right. Now remember, when completing this, this is math right here. So I need to know what's the average percent correct for third grade math at your school, for fourth grade math at your school, and for fifth grade math at your school. Okay. So then we're going to go. So this is where you're going to go. You're going to go to. Let me find the tab. All right. So you're going to go to school performance over time by course. Okay, course, because they want to know third grade math, fourth grade math, and fifth grade math. So course. When you do that, this is the information right here. See, interim one. So you're going to put for third grade, my average percent correct is 61. For fourth grade, my average percent correct is 65. And for fifth grade, my average percent correct is 72. All right, so we're going to go and do that here. So 61, 65, 72. So 61%, what was it, 65? Oops, 65%, and then 72%. All right, is that what you put for yours?
I was going to answer that, but she was on that speaker. I did. I got 61, 65, and 72, but I didn't get it from there. I got it from the PDMR report in the upper left-hand corner and just used the mean. I
Wait,
think it was the mean or the
wait,
median.
what? Oh, you're talking about this?
Yeah, so I didn't pull the information like you just did. I pulled it from the PDMR that they send me. You know what I'm talking
No,
about? The
I
report
don't.
that they.
I'm not sure what you mean
Okay.
by PDMR.
Okay, so it's a report that they send you and it averages all of my teachers, and in the upper left-hand corner, it gives me the overall performance by mean and median and gives me the average for all of my classes combined.
And where'd you
So
get that?
I pulled it from the PDMR report that I'm able to download from, let me see.
Mike, hey, it's
Yes.
Robichaud.
I mean, yours is a lot.
Wait. Hold on.
The PMDR is that PDF. It's just the PDF that they get when they download their reports. It's just the naming of it
Yeah,
since it's
I just don't know the name of
Okay,
it.
so
It's just called
so
the
so
PDMR.
where did you get this from here? You said
Let's see. I went through online assessments, and then I went through data meeting reports and printed it from there.
okay. So all right, now be careful. So I'm going to go to math right here. Okay, I'm going to math, and you went where did you go in this case right here? I'm at
I wasn't there. I wasn't under performance. So when I originally accessed it, I was at home. I clicked on accessing online assessments. I ended up in data meeting report and then printed the data meeting report for ELA and math that was sent to me. Printable reports. Yeah, that's what I went to. Data meeting, printable reports, math, engage online compatible, downloaded the PDF and the ELA PDF.
okay.
And then from that PDF, the data was in the report.
All right, but did you see that
But
it's so quick?
your
It's
way
so
is a
much
lot
quicker.
easier.
Yes, right.
Yeah, your way is
Okay.
definitely easier.
All right. So the rest of you, the way you're going to get that information is just this. You're going to go to performance, school performance with time by course, and then it's automatically listed right here. That's what you need. Okay. Now, what I was saying was when you do the overall performance, and again, no one has told me what that column means because it was not there last year. Last year, this column was not there. All they had was average percent correct. What I think it means is this. When we do interim two, so let me go back here. We do interim two. See this average right here? That's going to be the average of interim one and interim two, and that would be the overall performance at that point. That's what I think that means. Okay? So for right now, you're going to put NA not applicable. Okay? All right. Okay, now, I know we've had a lot of conversation in the last 6 minutes where we went all over the place. To complete average percent correct, you're going to go to school performance over time by course. When you do that, the interim one right here, you're going to put this, oh, I'm sorry, where you see school, okay? Forget about the network. You're not using network at all in this report. So we're not even going to touch network here. I just want to tell you very quickly where to go to get the data you need for that report. So you're going to put 61, 65, 72. If you do, now remember default here is math. So if you need ELA, you're going to click on ELA, and it defaults to the SAS you're going to need, and then you just click update. Now you got to click the word update. And when you do that, then Angela's going to put 45, 54, 64. So in that table here, she's going to put, I already forgot the numbers, 65, what was it, 65? Anyone?
45,
45.
54, 64.
Oh, okay. So this was 45, 64, and then 54. Okay. All right. So that's how you complete that column. All right. Now, so they use the word proficiency. They could have just said the two highest standards. When you think of proficiency, you think that they have to score a certain percent, or be proficient like you would on the LEAP test, where proficient is mastery or advanced. Don't worry about that word proficiency here. Just what you're going to do is you're going to look at the two highest performing standards. So they could have just changed the word to performing standards. Two highest performing standards instead of the word proficiency. But they used the same word last year. I'm assuming that, and when I was in the data meetings, the principals did use the two highest performing standards and the two lowest performing standards. All right, so to do that, the best way to do that is to go back to, go back here, and we're going to go, see right here where it says school performance over time by standard? So let's do that. Let's click on standard, and then you see the standards listed here. All right, so this is third grade. So this is third grade. So defaulted to math, right? So if you need English, you click on English, and then you would click update. And make sure it says all courses, all teachers, all periods. Let me go back to math. It was on math. Okay, now for third grade, let me see if I can expand this so you can see it a little bit better. So when you go to third grade, all right. So can anyone tell me, for third grade at this particular school, what will be the two highest performing standards?
God, are you kidding me?
Who said that? Are you
Well, I
kidding
mean,
me?
I chose 3.0AA3 and 3.0AB6.
Yeah, but I was
Oh, I'm
wanting
sorry.
someone else to tell me. Can someone else, because you've already completed this, so I need someone else that hadn't completed it yet. Can someone tell me what will be the two highest performing standards for third grade? Elaine, can you tell me, please? Elaine Johnson? All right, Elaine's.
I'm here, Michael. I'm here, Michael. I'm trying to get my mic on.
All right, thank
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you. So Elaine, I'm at
Yeah.
an elementary school, and for third grade, I need to find out what are the two highest performing standards. Could you look at this, all this information here, and this is third grade, and tell me what you would include as the two highest performing standards
Highest performing standard for the school,
for third grade? Yes,
would be those last two.
those last two. All right. So then I'm just going to go ahead and copy, and then go back here, and then paste. All right. And then do a little space here, then go back, do the next one, copy, and then do the next one, paste. All right, and then notice the example they gave you, they want the percentage. So they want you to say 1 and 2. So let me go back and do it the way they wanted. So they want number 1 would be the highest. All right, so let's go back. Right here. Wrong one. Okay, so right here I'm going to put 1, and I think it was 76%, 77%. All right, so I'm going to go back and put 77%. All right, and that was the standard, and we'll come back and actually put the words in. Then the second one was at 76%, I think, and that was the standard. All right, let me double check. So let's go back and double check. B6 was 76%, C7 was 77%. All right, so B6 is 76%. All right, so I kind of have it backwards, don't I? All right, so let's fix this. So B6, 76%. So the first one should have been listed first. So let me go ahead and just fix it real quick. All right, let's do this over. All right, so 77%, and that was this standard right here. Copy and then paste. And then 2 was 76%, and then copy and paste. Okay, so now we're correct. All right, and then you would do the same thing for grade 4, and then do the same thing for grade 5. All right, let's just quickly do grade 4, and you do realize I put in the wrong subject, right? I put math and ELA.
I did that yesterday twice.
I just cannot get a break here, can I? So let's go to math and paste. I just cannot get a break on this part. All right. Yeah, you got to be careful. You're pasting, copying and pasting all over the place. All right. So this was for math. All right. So now that part's correct. So now what we got to do is put the words. All right. The best thing to do rather than have to type out is this. This is probably one of the better ways. There's probably another better way that some of you found. But to remember, you got to keep in mind that I'm writing this down. So I need 3.0a B6 and 3.0a C7. So you write that down. Then you're going to go back to, see what it says standards right here? That standards tab. You go there, and I need math, 3rd grade, and then compatible online. So you see there's quite a bit of work you have to do. And then you update, and then you have those standards. See that? All right, so I need 30A 30A6. So we got to find 30A6. So that's right here. See it? Okay, so this is what I need to copy right here. You see that top part? So let me just click on it. And then this is what I need. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and then paste. God, I hope I'm putting in the right one. All right, and that's what you write. Okay, then you do the next one right here. So we got to find 3OAC7. So 3OAC7. So that's this one right here. Click on it, and this is it right here. So we're going to copy, and then go back, and then paste. All right, and then that's it. So there's your 2 highest. Any questions at this point? We're going to do the 2 lowest. I'll do the process again, but that's the better way to do it. It is a lot of work, so you're not going to do all this within 15 minutes. It's quite a bit of work that you have to go through. All right, so that was 2 highest. Then we're going to do 2 lowest for grade 3 math. All right, so I'm going to go back to dashboard, And then I want another person to tell me, besides Angela, besides Elaine, where I would go to find the two lowest performing standards. Someone want to volunteer? If you don't volunteer, I'll call on you. I'm doing some teacher wait time here. There's just so much wait time I can do. All right, Mr. Boatner, you're always my go-to. Troy Boatner.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Troy. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
All right, Mr. Boatner, I've got to complete for this particular school the grade 3, the two lowest performing standards. Where would um I'm at Baton Rouge Flame. Where would I need to go to determine the two lowest performing standards?
Okay, go to performance,
Okay,
then go to standards,
very good. Thank you. All right. And so
and
now,
then
and this is
you
third grade.
filter.
Say it again.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
you're fine.
no, you're good. So we're on the page we need, and then we're looking for third grade only right now, and um, then would do fifth, and we'd do fourth. Now remember, the average and the interim one, those numbers are the same, right? That's because we also so far all we have is interim one. When we do interim two, that average is going to be different. So when you do this interim this data thing for interim two, just make sure you're using interim two and not the average for that information. All right, so Mr. Boatner, what would be the two lowest ones?
For math, for third grade math,
Yes, sir.
the lowest will be 3MDA1.
All right, I'm writing it down because we got to go and find it. 3MDA1, and that's at what 42%.
42%,
Okay.
and the second lowest is 46%, 30882.
Okay, at 46%. All right. So so you see this one here. So remember when you go to this table, they want the let me see how the example they gave. All right. So go to the example they gave. So remember number one for the two highest. Number one is the highest. Number two is the next one, right? For the
Right.
lowest, number one is going to be the lowest, and number two is going to be the second lowest. That's the way they have it in this example. So it's just kind of the other way around. So for the two lowest, number one is going to be the 46%, 42%, and number two is going to be the 46%. So what I'm saying is this. So make sure you're using this example as to what they want. So then we're going to go back here. So this 42 one, well, I'm using this one because it's the same as the interim one. But when we get to interim two, you have to make sure you use interim two. So 42 is going to be the number one, and then 46 is going to be number two. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to math, and I've got to fill this out. All right. So number one, I'm not sure why the fonts are different here, but that's okay. See how this number one is different than this? So the font's different. All right. So then I'm going to go back, and I'm going to copy and paste. So this is going to be number one right here. I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to go ahead and paste. And then I need to make that, oops, well, that's not too good. All right, one, oh, there we go. One, and then it was 42%. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and enter. And then I'm going to go back and do the next one. So number two was this one at 46%. Paste, go back and put 46%. Okay, all right, so that's where we're at. Okay, now what's missing? What else do I have to do?
The standards.
You gotta
Yeah.
put in the text of the standard.
Right. All right. Now for that, besides the individuals that participated, does anyone want to tell us where to go to get the wording?
You go to standards at the top.
All right. Is that Carrie Monnier?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Carrie. Let me go ahead and go here. So you said go to the standards tab, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so
Then you have to change your test.
yep. So I need math, and this was third grade. So you got to get third grade, and then we got to update. Oh, this is diagnostic, so we got to change it to the interim part. All right, and then we update. All right, so it's a little bit of work you have to do, and then we got to find the standard 3MD and then 3OA. So we're going to do MD first. So 3MDA1, which is this one here. So I'm going to click on it, brings me to this. I just copy, and I go here, and I paste, and there it is. Then I do the next one. So I need to find 3OA-A2. So I'm going to go here, go down, and find 3OA-2. So that's this one here. Copy, and then go here and paste, and that's it. All right. And I'll do it to number 3. So I'm going to just go ahead, see number 3 right here. I'm just go ahead and backspace and remove it. And so that's what you do. Any question at this point? Ask if you have a question. All right. So all right. So make sure you know the order. So number 1 for the 2 highest performing standards. Number 1's gonna be the highest. Number 2's gonna be the second highest. For the 2 lowest, number 1's gonna be the lowest, and number 2's gonna be the next lowest. Okay. All right, and you can always come back and clean up, like if you want to put a space between the standard and then the wording, you can. All right. So if you go to ELA, let's just do one more example. If I go to ELA, now remember ELA, we all talked about how to get that percentage proficiency, and we know that Baton Rouge Flame is going to get 100% for third grade before Thursday, because tomorrow's the last day for testing the fall assessment, and all she needed was 1 student. So she can find that student, get him tested, then this would be 100%. Okay, so to get to 2.
Okay, while we're talking about that, quick question, because I just looked that up and it looks like that child is actually listed in 2 classes. So he took the test under another teacher's name, but he's also listed under another teacher. So that's why it's showing up as not 100%.
Why is the
I'll
student?
get that.
Oh, it's an issue in J Campus?
It was an issue in J Campus. He was moved from one class to another, but ANet still has him listed in the old class. He took the test in that class, but now he's populated in the new class as well.
All right, so just go in. I don't know how you're going to fix that. Just call ANet and see
I'm going to
how
call
you're gonna fix
ANet. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay, so then we're going to need the 2 highest performing. They use the word proficiency. I'm going to use the word performing. 2 highest performing standards for ELA. All right, so Chantel Mark. Chantel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, Chantel. So I don't know how long. I know you were having trouble getting in. So I'm not sure how much of this you saw, but where would I go to find the 2 highest performing standards for English? I'm going to ANet, and I'm going to dashboard. All right.
Go to dashboard,
Okay.
data meeting, and then you go to standards.
You mean standards here, or?
Go to performance.
Okay.
Then you're going to go to standards. Click on standards on the left.
Uh-huh.
Then what subject? That was ELA you had on the screen, or math?
It was
ELA.
ELA.
Okay, change it from math to ELA.
Okay. And make sure it says 2022 because you also
Yeah.
have last year's. So
Yes.
2022 ELA, it is cross network
And
online,
then
all courses, all teachers,
update
and then update. All right, and then so
down.
right, and
And
uh-huh.
then the two highest for third would, oh,
For
did you
third,
want me to continue?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the two highest for third would be, ooh,
So there's a lot here in
there's a lot,
yeah
right?
in ELA it's a little bit more challenging because you have all these reading literature, reading informational text, vocabulary
Right.
interpretation. So you would still through all these numbers here figure out which one's the highest. So it looks like 77 or RI
77,
3.4 looks like, right? So I'm writing this down.
yes,
So RI 3.4, 77%. And then the next highest was
or RL 3,
65% or L34.
65%,
Okay,
3.4.
or L3.4,
Isn't
65%. And then let's go ahead and do the two lowest since we're here. Two lowest, it looks like there's a 15.
15,
So RL 3.1, 15%. I'm writing this down on another sheet of paper. And then the next,
and then it looked like 31.
yep, 31 looks like. All right, so
RL
that's
3,
RI.
7,
RI
RI
3.7,
4.7.
31%. Okay, all right, thank you. All right, I'm gonna go back to the PowerPoint. All right, so then I need to copy that standard. So then we're gonna go to right here. So the two highest, let me do 77% first, right here. So RI 3.4, copy. See, it's a lot of it's a little bit of work you have to do. So let me do paste, and then backspace and put the number 1. Okay, and then the next one, oh, I forgot to put the percentage. Percentage, 77%, space. All right, then the next one, let's see, was 65% right here. So it looks like vocabulary interpretation, which is probably going to be true for all grade levels. The vocabulary interpretation is probably the highest. All right, so I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to paste. All right, move backspace and put the percentage, which is 65%. Okay, now I've got to come back and put those standards, right? The wording. So we're going to go to, not this standard, but which standards do I go to next? And I guess I should have, before I go on, let me just real quickly put the two lowest. All right, now I had two numbers listed for the two lowest. All right, so listen carefully. I had 15% and 31%. Based on their example, which should be number 1, 15 or 31?
15.
15, okay, good. All right, so let me go back and copy. So 15, and then go here, and then paste. All right, and then I'm going to put number 1 here, and that was at 15%. Okay, and then number 2, which is the one that's at 31%, which is right here. Copy, and then come back here, and then paste. Okay, and that was at 31%. Okay, all right. Before we go to the last thing that we're going to do y'all have any questions on what I've done? All right, now we're going to go and put the wording. To get the wording, where do I go to get the wording, to copy the wording?
Michael, just before you go to that, will we be able to get a copy of that roundtable?
Your principal, your executive director sent that to your principal. I was not given permission to share this.
Okay, all right.
So I'm not an administrator. I cannot share something that I wouldn't give permission to.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so your executive director send that to your principal.
Michael,
Yes,
it's Elaine. Are we doing this on the high school level also?
yes.
Okay.
All
And when is this,
say it again.
when is this due?
Elaine, I know that in early November, they're starting those roundtables. So your executive director may have a earlier time frame for where you submit it to them so they could look at it. I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay.
I just found out about this a couple of, I think it was Friday or no, it was Monday. Yesterday, maybe I found out about this. Or no, it was Friday.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I think it may have been Friday. And so yesterday I contacted someone to send me the information that y'all would need. And so that's what so when I got this yesterday, I looked at it and then I said, well, that's going to be part of our office hours today.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Michael,
Hey,
Yes.
oh, sorry. You can
do
go.
we need to contact ANet if the test is not available on
What do you
for
mean?
the students? I had a student that had the flu and they was trying to take it on yesterday, but when she logged in, the test wasn't available. They didn't have anything for her to take.
That probably means she's already taken it. But yeah, go ahead and call ANet.
Okay. All right. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome. Because the last day is tomorrow, and there's no extensions after tomorrow. Someone else had a question?
Not a question, just a response to where to find this slideshow. My principal was sent something called a principal weekly reminders email, and there's a link in that to make a copy of this presentation.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, when they get the link, they click on it, and it automatically makes a copy for them. Let me just kind of before I show you that, let's just finish this part up. So I need to put the wording here. So where do I go to get that wording, to copy and paste that wording? This is where I'm at. Anyone? Hello?
Standard.
Yeah. All right. And then you got to filter every time you got to filter, right? It's just like, oh God, just a lot of work here. All right. And then we got to update. It's a good idea to write down those standards like I'm doing. You can't see me writing it down, but I wrote them down. This is ELA, so I'm in the wrong place, aren't I? So ELA, this is third grade, and they need cross network, and then update. All right, so now I'm in ELA. Okay, so I need the RI 3.4. So RI 3.4. Let's see where it is. Right here. See it? So I'm going to click on it. See where it says Assessment 1? I'm going to click on it. Now, remember, I'm doing Baton Rouge Flame right now. Baton Rouge Flame only has grades 3, 4, and 5. Hers is easy because all of hers is A1. Some of you are going to have A3 and A1 to look at, depending on your grade configuration. So RI 3.4, and do the same thing. You copy and you paste. Go here and paste. And then you do the next one. All right. So I think I belabored the point. But does anyone have any questions on this? It's a lot of work. You see, all we've done was just grade 3 so far. You then have to do grade 4, grade 5. Some of you have, like Idris Lodge, has grades 3 through high school, so she has lots of grade levels to deal with because she's at EBR virtual. Some of you have grades 6 through 12. Well, we only go through Algebra 2 and English 3, so grade 11. But some of you have a lot more grade configurations to deal with. All right. Any questions? I'm hoping this helped, y'all, because I didn't want to waste your time if it didn't.
When will the recording be available, Mr. Dozet?
Well, I didn't do any student names, student information. So I just need to send it to you within the next 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Now let me just show you something else. In the Canvas course, you go to the Canvas course. So I'm in the Canvas course, and I'm scrolling all the way down to where it says reports for school level. See that bottom one here where it says completing percentages, average percent standards? That was the one I sent y'all for interim 2 last year.
One of the reports that your school will have
So
to
you may remember
complete for
that
the
it only
data
had like
roundtable is
44
this one here
views, so
where
not
it
many
says
of you
English
looked at
ANet
it.
data. So
But this was one from last year. It's the same thing that we just talked about, except this was for interim 2. But it goes through the process. It has a little bit more like highlighting stuff and all that. I'm not going to be able to do it with this because when I did this right here, it takes a lot of time to edit, to put all this stuff in. But you could use this as well. It's just that be careful because I want to show you something. When you go through, let's see. Okay, when you go through here, remember this was for last year. So last year, you're going to see a different SAS. So last year we used the abbreviated version. So just be a little bit careful because last year is for last year, but the information, the way to get the information is still the same. You go to data export. You then go to, let's see the rest of it. Let's say you then go to performance over time by courses. The same information's there. All right, but this part up here, just be careful. You don't do 2021. Make sure you do 2022. Okay. All right. Any questions? All right. But that is in here. That's the one for last year is still useful. It's just that was for 2021 instead of 2022, and it was for interim 2 and not just interim 1. All right. So hopefully it helps because I'm sure some of you came in here not knowing how to get it. Some of you already did. So hopefully those of you already did, I didn't waste your time. But who knows? Sometimes I do waste people's time. All right. Anything else?
No, thank you so much. This was very useful.
Well, thank you. Thanks. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording and